Hello, pile number two. I was gonna just like do all this stuff like off camera, and the universe is like, no. Pile number two, especially if they came from pile number one, which I was gonna do, I think 4 piles or 3 piles. Anyways, this is gonna be a twofer because that was so long and unexpected, but necessary. And so we're gonna take it to two. Possibly a third bonus, but probably not. This is my little CBD, THC, Delta 9, whatever. I love it. I've lost it and then I just found it. So I'm very excited to have it back in my life. I know some people, it looks like I'm some like 18-year-old smoking some vape, and it is a vape, but these are lovely for like just mood enhancing throughout the day. I said, leave it. Without succumbing, I guess, to pressure of the day, I realized that, okay, wow, this is such a different energy. It's like, why am I like leaning forward and talking? They're like, keep going. And I'm like, oh, is this the reading? It's so crazy. I mentioned Abby Normal earlier, and now all of a sudden I just feel like I'm really in. I've had a couple of experiences this past week because I've been supplementing more with the CBD versus the red wine and all that good stuff. And I think I've done like my spirit team's funny today. Like 17 miles in the past week of like just straight walking, like moving, which I haven't in a long time. That used to be pretty normal for me. Oh my goodness. Yeah, no, I feel okay. Yeah, this is just a very special reading. High Priestess again. I think I'm gonna have to like rename like High Priestess gossip. Yeah, I've been getting this High Priestess collective, and it's. I feel like this one's okay. What I'm tapping into, it's like I feel like I want to grab a crystal, but I feel like when I write, I want to write. Okay, and then I have this here. I feel like somebody might be really coming into their psychic abilities. And I feel like someone is becoming aware that the things around them that they thought were coincidences, like all the time, like that's just funny, that's weird, or just really like when people say psychic phenomena, it's not a phenomena to me. Like my guides, my ancestors, my peeps, my people, my family, like on the daily, when people get close enough uh, around me, they'll start like, did the noise just happen like that and like that? And like, it's so normal for me that I forget how weird it is for other people. And that's just the way I roll. Right. And I feel like this is a person that's just realizing how much psychic knowledge and access they have available to them. I think it's freaking somebody out. Like all of their clairs might become, I'm getting, oh, specifically smells, the olfactory. You know, people are like, oh, you walk into a house and it smells like something that reminds you of your grandmother or a certain place, whatever. I think this person, what people don't realize with like psychic smell is that you can smell something and get somebody else's memory. So they might be, so like the first time I really started understanding sentience was when I grabbed onto a banister and then I got a vision of a woman getting pushed down the stairs right there. Like I was into her. Yeah, take those as confirmation. And that was one of my, and that was really during my psychic awakening, which happened while I was in a pregnancy, and then I was in a miscarriage. But the pregnancy caused me to stop drinking like alcohol. Like I was definitely like a a working functional alcoholic because I didn't realize I was trying to cover up my psychic abilities. I thought that like that's a whole nother story, and that might be something that we'll share on the podcast, and maybe something in here, or maybe on Patreon or Ko-Fi. But yeah, I feel like someone's coming into some very strange, like maybe you're tactile, like you're sentient, because sentience is the feeling, even though, but there is a kinetic where you know you there's a lot, and there's a lot of blur in between, but I feel like they might be getting, yeah, now I'm getting like downloads. There is, okay, yeah, take that as a yes. Someone needs to eliminate, just stop using regular toothpaste. Go ahead and move to charcoal. And also start, if you can start drinking alkaline water, just get the fluoride out of your diet, wherever you're consuming fluoride. It seems like such a small, but it actually increases the calcification of the pineal gland. And when you start taking fluoride, I'm talking about like within 2-3 months, you'll start, like, your pineal gland will start clearing up really well. And I think that's something. Also, if someone's crown, I'm not getting a lot of dizziness, but I also have my wig on right now. That's the reason why I like to wear them during like pick a cards, because there's so much energy, and like I think they look, I love the way they look, and I get to try different styles, and I just kind of fell in love with this one and this style. But I felt better about this than like wearing hoods all the time. And I only say that from a reader that I kind of was like one of my mentors, and it just like didn't resonate with me to wear a hood all the time. But it was necessary, like covering the crown, especially when you're starting like your first 2 years, or like really having your third eye open. It's really important. I think it's important all the time just to know I'm feeling dizzy or I feel overwhelmed. Yeah, like I feel like someone's really getting, also like really tired. You might not know that you're picking up collective. Yeah, I'm getting this onslaught of psychic abilities. Someone might have stopped. Okay, I'm starting to get something. You might have gotten off like a certain medication. There's someone here that's gotten either off a certain medication or possibly even like gluten, which I I don't know, but I know there's, you know, some certain foods that spike something, but there's something here that somebody is completely eliminated from their diet, and their psychic abilities are coming on, and they're like, what the HE double hockey sticks is going on? And it's because something was blocking, like there was a, I'm getting neurotin. Yeah, I feel like somebody had just gotten off like a certain medication that was blocking something. Neurotin is a like a nerve damage medication. But yeah, I'm getting, now I just see the peacock card in the animal spirit deck. Somebody's pineal gland is cracking wide open, and it's like, ah, but it's also like a very, very tender, pardon me, it's like there's like this certain fruit where you like open it up, not like papaya, but kind of like, if you, you know, it's like a very, you know, overtly uh sexual connotation with like a papaya or something like that, or a cantaloupe, but it definitely has this, there's this very vulnerable center to someone. I think it's oh goodness, there it is. Okay. This is a person that's never felt emotions before. I'm not getting like a sociopath. I'm getting more disassociation, like maybe some underlying DID. And if you don't know, you don't know, or if you do, you do. That's for somebody, and I'm not meaning to trigger anybody here, but there is definitely someone who, okay, take that as confirmation. Someone here who may be realizing that they might actually have separate personalities. Like something might trigger them into something. I just got finished watching, the Secretary, like back in the day, like the original like BDSM with James Spade and Maggie Gyllenhaal. It was super sexy and it was super hot, but there's definitely like this, I feel like, okay, I'm hearing genetic marker in somebody. Yeah, I feel like there's somebody here that is meant to, with this purity stone, that is meant to break this generational curse of addiction and anxiety. I'm just hearing, I heard this AA, but like literally like addiction and anxiety. I hear there's a lot riding on this person, generationally speaking. There's something coming through here that they may feel like it's too late. I got a reading the other day. You might want to look at the Virgo reading in San Tarot, the Virgo reading, where it was like someone who's just like misinterpreting, like timing, whatever. There's something here, and someone that might have like a significant Virgo placement where you feel like it's too late and you're just resigning yourself, and you have all of your ancestors and all of your family, everybody on the other side. You may feel very alone right now, but there's everybody that is surrounding you. Like, I'm getting this like energy of like this soft, it's not an intervention, it's just this, we're all around you, like this trust fall. Like, there's pillows all around you. Whatever you decide to do, it's right if it's right for you, but don't do it for anybody else, is what they're saying. This is what they're asking you to do, is don't do anything for anybody else. Do whatever you want to do for you. You're the only person. You're the only person in this family that can break this curse of violence and shame and futility and lack of honor. You are the person in your family that can break this curse. And you feel like, they said, look at the master number. I'm at my 44th year. So this might be your 66th year, or there might be some kind of, it may not have to be like a 6 or a 4 or a 5 kind of year, but there's some kind of synchronization that you've been seeing. There's something going on that you've been seeing over and over, and it's your ancestors saying, you were right in time, you were right in line, this is the right way to go. And then if something happens, like if you turn away or if you meet, there's something, if you, there's, I feel like you're feeling, oh, okay, you're getting corralled. This is what happened to me too. Yeah, this is totally a dark night of the soul type of moment here, y'all. And we have those as we go in different times. Like, but the big one is when you go and you call this person, they say no, and you try and get on their couch, or you try and borrow this money, or you try and get this job, or you try and get this type of meal, whatever it is. It's like everywhere you go, you're just getting no, no, no. It's like shut down and shut down and shut down, and there's only one way, and you refuse to look at it, and you refuse to see it because you were so focused on what you didn't get versus the one thing that's saying, like literally, they're like, we're pointing you in the right direction, and you're like, I don't want it because I didn't want it. I didn't ask for it. I asked for these things and you took them away. And they were like, man's rejection is God's protection. Do you not understand that we shut these avenues off for you because we're trying to protect you? And then we're the person that's like, well, I'm going to cut off my spit. Like, I didn't ask for that. I want to go get the thing that I didn't get because somebody said no. And instead of, right, this is the abandonment wound, this is the father wound, this is the mother wound, where someone was neglected and they didn't have a strong parent that was just like, let me give you two options, let me show the way. And there was always these transactional, like, there's just a lot of trauma, and there's so much tapped, I can't even get into people's fathers and mothers and everything like that. But just know, if I'm talking to you and if you're still here and if you're resonating with this, I'm not saying that it's you. It's not like, oh, it's not your fault, or it's not their fault, or it's not anybody's fault. We cannot change what we do not know. So you have to give for people, they did the best they could with the information they had, with the experiences that they brought to the table, and the lack of information that they had. They did what they could. But here, if you're watching this video, then you obviously know that there's another way. And now it's on you, right? Now your karma is wrapped into changing this, because now you know. You have the information. So if you turn your back on it, the karma, the buck stops with you, my friend, right? Because you're listening and you're understanding and you're, they did not get, so it's so much easier to forgive the people that did the things to us that we were like, we're so wronged by, because they were just repeating the patterns. The people, the parents, the siblings, the family members that molested us, the church members, the pastors, the whoever touched you inappropriately or abused you emotionally or verbally or financially, whatever is going on, they are only repeating the pattern that they left, what they learned. And they may be somewhat cognizant, but if they're still doing it to that nth degree, they are not, really, when it comes down to it, woke. And it's not like we can't hold them responsible. Not at all. We can hold them responsible, but you have to be the person to hold them responsible. You have to be the person that says, I'm going to allow you to be who you are. I can't change you, but I'm going to not expose myself to this type of energy or abuse or experience or non-friendship or whatever it is. Like when you start taking, right, self-accountability, like it's not their fault. I mean, it is, but I mean, they know not, this is where the Christ consciousness comes in, right? Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. I can only change me. I cannot change them. So when people come at you trying to change you, especially if they're on some like funky website where it's just like, I'm a this, that, and the other, whatever, but I'm a this, that, and the other. And it's just like, we all have our whatever, but you have all of your beliefs and all this, that, and the other, but don't wag your finger at me, person. And I feel like you are just calling people. I don't even think that you're like, and I'm going to call you out. I don't feel like you're like some vindictive, like Barbie, what's his name, Simon on the show where he's like, and you're out, like some judgmental judge. I feel like you just let people bring who they are to you, and then you say, I'm going to give you some time, and then I'm going to give you maybe some bumpers. When you go bowling and there's like those bumpers on the side if you're like a kid, and it helps the ball like kind of guide them, and it's like you got to get it down the lane, and the bumpers will help it not go straight in the gutter, but eventually you got to take the bumpers off, right? And you just got to let people put themselves, like throw the gutter ball and take the hit. And people are not comfortable or used to reaping or seeing or experiencing the consequences of their actions. And I feel that you, High Priestess Collective here, are more than willing to not take that on. Like, I'm not going to even give you your consequences. I am going to retract my energy and rest and rejuvenate and turn my energy in on myself, because I know that because of how I conducted myself in this particular interaction or friendship or work environment or whatever it is, I know that the seeds that I reaped, even though nobody saw that I was planting them, even though I was planting them within myself and I was watering a cactus that was going to die anyways. This is called self-integrity. When you do the right thing when no one is looking, you do it for yourself. This is where you are starting to realize and understand that you actually do create your reality, that your thoughts actually do become things. But moreover, those day-to-day decisions where you decide, where I could just be a shithead and kick somebody's cat, or I could love on this cat, or I could just walk away from the cat and go pet somebody else's kitty. You are making decisions on the daily that are just, you've got the snowball momentum of excellent, freaking pristine glacial water karma coming your way. And I just think that everybody feels like they missed the boat. I'm getting like some Noah's Ark vibes. Like, I feel like you've been the person that is beating this drum for years. And it's like, come on and do the thing, and this, that, and the other, and this big old fat Saturn turn and the nodes turning. Like, this is what happened years ago, when I felt like I was like this crazy false prophet, like with all these, I was having all of these downloads and all of these experiences and all this stuff and like experiences, and my mind was just crazy. And I had this imposter syndrome, and then I had to go through what I've been through, and now I'm like, you can't take that away from you. You can try and tell me and lie to me all you want, but what you can't take away is what I know. I know my cards. I know my gut. I know it because I've done it over and over and over again. My guides have never failed me. Who has? Man, family, spouses, lovers, friends, acquaintances, strangers. Trust more than faith that I have all of them. There's no more mustard. The world is my freaking, it's not my oyster, it's my mustard seed. That's how you roll right now. That's how you're rolling. You're not putting your faith in anybody else except for yourself and what you've got going on. And this is where I'm like, because in regular, and I'm not saying it's the regular, anybody is welcome to this reading. But I feel like, again, there is this collective, and even if it's only 4 or 5 of you high priestesses, where you are just, and it's not like you're above anybody else. You have, no, people are like, oh, they think that they're better. No, I don't. I think that I'm a very sensitive creature that has amazing abilities, but is only able to tap into them when I'm in my own energy and when I am rested and rejuvenated and one with Source, the divine, God, Allah, whatever you care to revel in and worship and like all of those things. I think you are just willing to not subscribe to the FOMO, not subscribe to the outward validation, not subscribe to what people think your life should look like with your age, your demographic, your ethnicity, your whatever it is. This person has decided, you're not like, oh, I'm just beating to the own drum. No, you have opened a dance studio, you have opened a music studio, you have like, you're like, I now have children that dance to the own beat of their drums, and now we're competing in parades and contests, and we're going to be at the Super Bowl next year. Like, that's, you have taken, you are the ultimate alchemist, high priestess, magician, doesn't matter the plumbing. I am speaking to someone who is not, it's not like nothing. People are like, oh, something from nothing. Hell no, it's not nothing. Don't take my experience and call it nothing. But I take this one little gem and this one little piece and this one or whatever, and I'm going to cobble it, and then I'm going to sand it down, and I'm going to refine it, and I'm going to and then I'm going to freaking duplicate it, and then I'm going to franchise it, and then I'm going to mobilize it. And yeah, no, this is a person that they're not asking anybody's opinion as to, what do you think about this, or like whatever. If you are involved, if you were a cross watcher, because I feel like there's a ton of you, if somebody asks you your opinion about something, they're trying to butter you up or try and make you feel good about yourself or something like that, because this person asks no one nor cares about anybody's opinion. They might ask for your like point of view, like coming from a person. Like, I'll ask somebody like, I've never walked in a Caucasian middle-aged man's shoes. What are, like, how do you see it from this point of view, And so, I mean, that's just called market research. But here, I feel like this is someone that is just tunnel vision, streamlined, sexy, focused. Pile 1 was unapproachable. This one's unattainable. They're not, this is like, are you hopping on board? Yeah, I'm getting, this person is looking for investors. This person is looking for long-term 6 of Pentacles type of energy. Like, we can benefit each other, but it's got to be equally. And I don't feel like this person's really interested in mixing like business with romance. I like, have we gotten a card out? Where are we at? I'm going to get a card out. We can call it a real reading. The prayer. Gossip. I say gossip, but it's like channeling. So I'm like, if you're still here, you're here. The prayer. This is people reaching from the grave. I hope they think of me. I hope they remember. I hope I brought something enough to their life. I hope there's this. They buried themselves, right? This is people that buried themselves before they got to know you more, before they saw all sides of you, before they, or did see all sides of you, but didn't believe, I'm getting a lot of people that just took you for granted. And it's like, well, if I knew who you are or were, like really were, I would have treated you better. And it's like, well, I was showing you myself the entire time. I'm just not a person that shows everything about myself because I've learned not to. And that's what's called getting to know each other. The people that have a problem, The people that are reaching for you are the love bombers. These are the people that like, you're my best friend. Or like, I've known you for a month and I love you. I love you. I'm so in love with you. I love you. I love you. I miss you. I love you. I love you. I love you. I miss you. And you're just like, red flag, red flag. Or like, you're my best friend. Like, let's go out and like this, that, and the other, and like come with the girls and blah, 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 and you're invited to this. And it's just like, that's amazing, but like this isn't like really normal. This is somebody that's trying to get me close and like get me entrapped into their energy before I start really seeing exactly who they are, right? They're trying to like this is just from day one, right? This is day one, people, and you let people bury themselves. And they can't stand it. The gossip is I don't even think people are gossiping. I feel like people, I'm like, the titties look great, but this, I hope this thing is working. Okay. I think you have a lot of people really looking in the mirror at themselves, wishing that you would give them a second chance. And I don't think these people still realize the how many chances you actually gave them, or they're not like computing it right. Which I mean, it takes time to realize like when you're being like that succubus type of energy, or that like victimhood, or they did it to me, or they did this, so I did this tit for tat, or whatever. When you just realize like somebody was operating out of love around you, and you were not, and you were not. And then this is the hard part. This is the dark night of the soul, is the ego death of like, I fucked up. Well, this won't be. Like, I guess this isn't getting monetized. I think I cursed earlier, but I screwed up. And I just have to take stock of that and say like, well, why did I do that? And why would I push somebody away like that? Or if I really like, why, what are the all of these things? We have to do all of these things, right? And it's really difficult. But once you get through it, I mean, it's like, it's incredible. Like my depression of my entire life lifted, like in 2.5 seconds, when I just forgave myself and forgave other people, but realized like you have to go through the whole process of thinking it. And I think that you are very allowing of other people to go through this process without dragging you through it, because you have been there and you know how long it is, and you know how hard it is, and you realize that you might not be the best person for them. These people want to hang on to you, right? There's this prayer, this hand, this reaching for, because there's this quicksand, their karma, their experiences, their entire, I feel like some people's existences. I feel like a lot of things have come down. I've been getting these readings where the towers just come down, and it's like, or the waves crashing, like boom, boom, boom. It's like one thing after another, and people are like, what's going on? And I'm like, dude, should have checked out your natal chart. I know that sounds kind of shitty, but I've been preaching this to people I don't know how many times, and they don't take me seriously. And it's like, okay, well, I just lived through it for the past 5 years, but if you don't believe me, that's okay. That's on you. Again, I'm not here to shove anything down anybody's throat or convince them. It just gives me a leg up. I just consider it an advantage, and I like advantages. So if you want to continue living in the dark about those types of advantages, then continue to do so. That's my challenge to you. That's my Aries energy saying, oh yeah, well, it's actually an advantage. You call it woo, like my crystals and stuff, and I'm like, you have no idea. I'm going to stop now. Anyways, if you enjoy my content, please come back, subscribe, like, comment. It helps. Everything helps in the algorithm. This girl is trying to get monetized. We've got a lot of fun and fantastic things coming here in the future, so please stay tuned. I appreciate all of your support and love and shares and likes. Did I mention likes and thumbs up and shares? And I want your comments. Please tell me if any of this resonated, especially if I am tapping into a particular high priestess club. I feel like I know you had like, there was like 40 views on one and 40 views on another. It was like very, very, I feel like I've hit a nerve here. So anyways, this is open to anybody, because I feel like if you stayed long enough that you are in the High Priestess Collective, you're just learning a little baby High Priestess. And yeah, so we'll see you on the flip. Bye, y'all.